If you're curious about midterm rentals, you've probably asked yourself, but who's really renting these places? Are there enough tenants? Is demand strong enough for me to risk investing in this? That's the exact question I get all the time from investors here in Phoenix. And the truth is, demand for midterm rentals is not only real, it's growing. But the key is understanding who rents them and why they rent them and how you can make sure they rent from you instead of somebody else. So in this video, I'm breaking it all down. So let's talk about the 5 main types of tenants who fill midterm rentals and what each tenant values the most. I'll give you some real examples of how they find housing, where Phoenix demand is coming from in 2025, and finally, how to reach these renters without turning tenant placement into another full-time job. Stick with me, because once you understand your ideal tenants, you'll not only feel confident investing in MTRs, you'll also know how to attract the right ones consistently. Let's start with the biggest group, travel nurses and other medical professionals. Picture this: Sarah, a nurse from Colorado, just accepted a 13-week contract at Banner Health in Phoenix. She doesn't want to stay in a hotel for 3 months. She's exhausted after long shifts. She needs a real kitchen. She values a quiet place to rest. And here's the kicker: she has a housing stipend from her staffing agency, often around $3,000 to $4,000 a month. She goes on Furnished finders, filters by close to hospital, and starts reaching out to the landlords. What she wants isn't luxury, it's comfort. Clean, safe, private, a good bed, blackout curtains, reliable Wi-Fi so she can FaceTime family, and a washer and dryer in the unit. That's her non-negotiables. And here's what investors forget: it's not just nurses. Respiratory therapists, travel techs, doctors on residency rotations, they all need the same thing. If your property is within 20 minutes of a hospital in Phoenix, this is your bread and butter tenant base. Now, do you want to be the one answering Sarah's late night questions, vetting her contract, and sending over leases? Maybe not. That's where I step in. I handle tenant placement so you don't have to play landlord. Our second group is going to be corporate professional. Let's take Alex, a software engineer sent to Phoenix for a 4-month project with Intel. His company doesn't want to pay Marriott $200 a night for 120 nights. That's $24,000. Instead, they pay $3,500 to $4,000 a month for a furnished condo. What does Alex want? He wants a modern, business-friendly rental, desk space for remote work, strong Wi-Fi, proximity to the office or easy freeway access, maybe even a gym in the complex. These tenants usually aren't paying out of their pocket. Their employer is, which means you get reliable payments. The catch? They expect a professional process. Clear lease terms, quick response times, turnkey move-in. If you can't provide that, they'll move on to the next landlord. And again, here's the bigger question. Do you want to negotiate with corporate relocation reps, set up digital leases, and handle all the paperwork? Or would you rather have me deal with it while you collect the checks? Now, let's talk insurance placements. This one often is overlooked, but it is powerful. Let's say the Johnson family's home in Chandler has a fire. They can't live there during repairs. The insurance company owes them housing, sometimes for 3 to 6 months. Hotels don't work for families. They need a furnished home. So the adjuster reaches out to find a rental. Here's the beauty: payment comes from the insurance company, not the tenant. Reliable, on time, and often at market or above. These tenants value space and comfort. They are already in a stressful transition. If you can offer them a fully furnished home that feels normal, they will happily pay. But insurance placements can be tricky to coordinate. You're dealing with adjusters, contracts, and sometimes extensions. Again, do you want to spend your days negotiating with an insurance company, or do you want someone who already has those systems in place? Another big one is families between homes. Maybe they just sold their home in Gilbert and are waiting for their new build to finish. Maybe they relocated from out of state and haven't found a right house yet. Maybe they're renovating and need to live off-site for 3 months. These families don't want to move all their furniture twice. They just want a turnkey home where they can drop their suitcases, live comfortably, and move on when they're ready. I've had families pay $3,000 to $4,000 a month for furnished homes in Chandler and Gilbert during transitions. They're stable, responsible tenants, but again, they expect professionalism, clear leases, predictable billing, smooth check-ins. If you think you're going to juggle all of that while running your day job, think again. That's where I handle it. And finally, let's talk about the digital nomads. These are remote workers who like to spend 1 to 3 months in different cities. Phoenix is appealing in the winter when the weather is perfect. They value fast Wi-Fi, comfortable workspaces, walkable areas, and stylish design for their Instagram. This is the smallest group compared to nurses and families, but they're growing. And if you stage your rental well, you will attract them. The challenge, they're picky and they shop online, which means your photos, furnishing, and listing need to look professional. And guess who makes sure that happens? Me. Now let's zoom out and talk about why is Phoenix such a strong MTR market. Healthcare hubs, Banner, Dignity, Mayo, Phoenix Children's, thousands of contracts every year. Corporate relocations, Intel, State Farm, Honeywell, ASU affiliates. Seasonal relocation, snowbirds testing Arizona before buying. Insurance claims, monsoon damage, fires, remodels. This isn't hypothetical, it's happening every single day here. And if you position your property right, you'll always have a tenant pool. So how do you actually find these tenants? Furnished Finders is the #1 platform for travel nurses and professionals. Airbnb and VRBO with 30-day minimums are great for insurance and families. Corporate housing networks, relocation companies, LinkedIn outreach, direct relationships with HR departments, hospitals, insurance adjusters. But here's where investors burn out. Managing listings across platforms, handling applications, screening leases, check-ins, turnovers, that's not passive. That is extra work. Which brings us back to the key question. Do you want another job? Or do you want someone like me to run this process for you so your investment stays passive? So here's the takeaway. Travel nurses, corporate professionals, insurance placements, families in transition, and digital nomads. That's your tenant pool, and they're all renting midterm rentals in Phoenix right now. But knowing who they are isn't enough. You also need the systems to attract them, screen them, and manage them. If you try to do it all yourself, you'll quickly realize you've signed up for another job. If you want to invest in midterm rentals without the hassle of running them, text me. My number's in the description. I'll help you buy, set up, and manage a profitable MTR so you can focus on your life while your property cash flows. And don't forget to subscribe because my next video, I'm breaking down the 3 costly Airbnb investing mistakes first-time buyers always make and how to avoid them.